Yo guys, what is up? It's Teach here, coming at you again with another video over on Ark Survival Ascended. And in this video, I kind of want to talk about the new update that just got pushed, a new community crunch, one of the last two in reality. They've kind of made some pretty big changes, in all honesty, some things that I didn't expect, and some information, well, and some speculative information that I'm going to kind of assume that's kind of come out. Basically, we've got two different new creatures. We've got a new update to another map, not just the actual map that's releasing in, well, less than a month now, very soon. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So obviously the big picture is this thing right here. So you can see that this is the new version of the Veil Wind, one of the upgraded versions of the Veil Wind. It's either this guy or you can go with the Male Wind. Now the Male Wind looks very different, right? They are the same body shape, it looks like. Kind of the same. I'm assuming they're going to be the exact same size. This one's more rat-like in appearance, and this one's more like fox-like, kind of like the regular Veil Wind is. But you can see that they are rideable. And both of them, I'm going to assume, have very unique special abilities depending on which one you go with, right? So this one, if you didn't know, if you haven't read it yet, basically, I'm going to show you real quick. So this one, unlike the other one, which is meant to be like a single target destroying thing, this one basically is going to keep the darkness safe behind you. Basically what that means to me and what I'm reading is you can see that it's got an ability to move through frozen hazards with confidence and precision. Basically, it's got some sort of ability to move quickly, I'm assuming. And then it's also going to have the ability to slow things down. You can see right there, to keep you safe from the darkness behind. And then it's basically, again, this is just a theory, so don't, hold that for what you will. You can see that there's a lot of updates that we're going to talk about. So in my theory, all right, so no one's really seen what they look like quite yet outside of these basic pictures. I'm sure some people have, they just haven't said anything. So behind these creatures, I'm assuming they have some form of like snow or area of effect that's going to have some sort of slow to them. Or maybe even their bite is some sort of icing slow, kind of like the Veil Wind. If you don't remember the Veil Wind, or you don't have the Veil Wind yet, the Veil Wind, when it pops up and hits you, has a stack that it'll apply to you, basically causing your screen to freeze. And it's a real pain in the butt, and they do a ton of damage. So I'm assuming this is going to be a much larger version of that, where it's got like its ability to freeze you much quicker, which is kind of cool. So and that's just, unique. Now, I'm assuming this is what the new set of armor is going to look like. So if we zoom in, right, you know how each individual map they've been releasing with Bob's Tall Tales has had a special armor set. This looks like in some variety is going to be the armor skin that we are going to get inside of the actual release of Lost Colony. Now, these both have the exact same thing. That's why I'm assuming that. It's not like this one's wearing a different suit, and so is this one. This is what I'm not quite sure of. I don't know if this is a special spear, right? I know that they're releasing a lot of things that are going to be changing the meta of Ark with Lost Colony, but I do question whether or not this is just a generic spear skin. I don't know. It kind of looks like it is, but I'm not sure. It could, and this is possible, they could be doing something with the shocking, I don't remember what it's called, but the actual shocking thing that kind of became useless because you can use it to knock players out, and that's pretty much it. But even then, it doesn't do it 100% of the time anyways, so this could be something in that regard, but I'm not totally sure. I think it might just be a skin for a spear, but I'm not totally sure. And obviously you've got the frost, whatever you want to call them, the frost drakelings. They are pretty neat. So they will be on the new maps, and you are able to use both of these things. It sounds like transfer over with them, which is going to be kind of cool. Not quite sure how they're going to, I'm sure they're going to mess up some things, but yeah, it could go really well. So I got a feeling these things are going to be more of a utility mount, kind of similar to a Meguana is. I don't think they'll have Meguanas on the Lost Colony. I think these are going to be your main form of transport. I don't think it's going to be an open flyers-based map, judging by what I'm seeing here, right? You got a lot of cloud coverage, a lot of unique fields, and it seems to be more like an aberrant style map instead of being a giant flyers based map, because you see a lot of cave structures. And in the trailers, when we've seen the Lost Colony trailers, there isn't much open exposed air. The things on the surface looks like it's dangerous, kind of similar to Ab, right? So you're going to be kind of like locked down a little bit more. Again, this is personal opinion. So I think that you're going to have things like the Soul Wind and then the Male Wind. They're going to actually have quite a bit more usability, unlike in the past where they'll release one of these super creatures and then it's just like, okay, well, a flyer just is better use early game, mid game, and usually late game anyways. So a lot of people don't really get these until they're like super mutated. So, I'm hoping that that's not going to be the case, that they're useful for specific reasons that aren't just they look cool. It sounds like this Veil Wind is going to be more of like the Mal Wind is going to be the one that's got like a single target, kind of like the new Mega Raptor is. We're assuming this is kind of like a single target, whereas this one might be more of like a buff based thing, kind of similar to the Elder Claw is, but a little bit more like slow and stun based, less damage providing. This one will be a damage provider and this one will be a slower. Both have definitely unique things that they'll be good at. Now, again, I don't know if this is just going to be a skin, but they did mention that they were going to add some things like crossbows or the tech crossbow or whatever, the mechanical crossbow. I'm hoping they add some really neat new items in, because they've done that with every single map they've released so far. So they've got a really cool opportunity with Lost Colony to get released to add some really unique things to the actual game and the meta changing side of Ark. Now, back on to less neat things in my opinion, but still really awesome things. So the Lost Colony, that's kind of what we're going to have news here in the next week or two, whether it's going to be delayed. I got a feeling it's going to be delayed, but I'm not going to get too far into that. So anyways, yeah, so Extra Life 2025, for those of you that aren't tracking, 190,000 for kids in need. That's amazing. I sometimes the Ark community really pisses me off, and other times you see things like this. I know that it's because we want our creatures, but it's really a cool thing to be able to raise money. I've donated some money for it, and I hope that some other people have as well, because it really does help. I don't think people realize it. They do include a story in a second here. So the Aranio, Quetzal, and Giga are all locked in. The Therizino and Megalo are probably going to be the ones that get the next two. I'm hopeful, because the Megalo is like one of my favorite creatures in the entire game, and it's just, it sucks. I mean, the Aranio sucks too. So does the Quetzal. And the Theri and the Giganotosaurus, I don't think really needed anything. They're both really strong already, but people voted for it, so it is what it is. Lots of people donated, and that's pretty awesome. Gotta appreciate that. And then what I really wanted to bring up was the point behind this entire thing. You can see this is the mirror. I'm not going to read her story, but Ella Grace is the one receiving all of the, not receiving all of it, but I'm not going to get into it. I'm going to let you read the story. But yeah, so like, I think people misunderstand that the money does go somewhere. It goes to support some really awesome things, and it warms my heart from someone who works with children. So yeah, so anyways, back down to the thing. Inactive server sunsetting. We knew this was going to happen. For those of you that are playing servers that are less populated, they are always going to be just a giant revolving door. And that is due to the fact that you get the alphas on the server, that no one plays on them because that alpha is the only one that claims it, blah, 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 blah. You can see there's a list of them, and then you go to your expire servers, which I think is a really cool idea. Bonus rates on the network because of the turkey trial. Yeah, pretty neat stuff. So yeah, that's that. And if you didn't catch up from last week, the mail win, Extra Life, same thing, except that got locked in. The one thing I wanted to bring up on this right here. So Astraeos is actually evolving as well. For those of you that are playing Astraeos, it's a really beautiful map. Could use a little more optimization. I think we all agree with that. But the map itself is gorgeous, and they're adding rock drakes and aberrant-based creatures to it, just like they did with. And I think because they want people to. So with ASE, they wanted you to buy aberration and things like that, but because it's all included in the base game, they're going to add a lot more of these creatures, and they won't like kind of lock them to specific maps. So I'm hopeful that Astraeos will end up with almost every creature in the game. Maybe even Lost Colony will get some more aberrant creatures. That's my theory. But yeah, pretty neat. Turkey Trial, really fun if you haven't ever played it. These are murder chickens. They suck. They really, 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 really suck. And there's obviously some really cool stuff. So not a huge update. I mean, in my opinion, it's a pretty big update because we got 2 new creatures and some new stuff in general. And we really like to see new creatures just because it just shifts the game. And that's why we love this game, because it's different. Every 2 months, 3 months, you log in, and it's really a mostly different game. At its core, it's similar, but you got new maps, new creatures, new stuff, and that's what we're looking for. So anyways, hopefully this video helps you out. And if you don't mind, smash that like button, leave a comment below, and then consider subbing to the channel. All right, Teach. Out.